Hello everyone. Welcome to this another session of Market Movements with Divam. Again, it has been a very active week for all of us, and we had a budget after these elections. It was a full budget that was presented recently. So उसके बाद market में काफी volatility रही. A lot of investors were slightly jittery कि budget में what happened, was it positive, was it negative, what is the impact. See, but markets also did what they did, right? We all know that on the day of the budget, because of capital gains, long-term capital gains increase and small-term capital gains increase, tax increase, uh, markets reacted initially, but that was the dips was bought. But again, in the next few days, we saw some correction. But then again, today, if you see the markets are दोबारा से there was buying that happened, and markets actually did pretty well today. So, if you understand the overall markets, see, it is a lot about liquidity that is happening in the markets. इस टाइम पे म्यूचुअल फंड्स के पास more than 1 लाख करोड़ का कैश है. That is actually very much supporting the markets, even despite FIIs जिस दिन बेचने भी आ जाते हैं उस दिन भी DIIs go and buy, and the retail buying continues. So we are seeing that momentum in the investors. A lot of investors have been sitting on the sideline कि जैसे ही करेक्शन आएगी हम पैसा लगाना चाहते हैं. जब ऐसा होता है कि a lot of investors want to deploy capital but they are not able to deploy capital, ऐसे में markets do not give them an opportunity to deploy capital at all, right? So it is a fight between liquidity and valuations. So liquidity obviously is winning at this moment, and we have seen this today. We have seen this at various intervals in the past. जिस दिन इलेक्शन के रिजल्ट आए उस दिन भी हमने ये देखा कि when the election result was not as per anticipated and we had a coalition government, still the markets came back, right? So that is the scenario. Liquidity is actually driving the markets, and we believe that it's a very structural shift, right? So what is happening is after like now that structural shift is happening jahan pe people have started to invest into equity markets and financial markets more and more, and there is a very much spread of mutual funds. The SIPs are continuing. Nobody is getting scared. They are all doing SIPs on a continuous basis with a long term idea, and because of that, there is structural shift coming from other asset classes and going into equities. And what that is doing is that is giving a lot of capital to the markets to deploy, and you have a limited number of companies. And when you have a limited number of companies and a lot of capital keeps on coming, obviously that doesn't let the markets to go down. Even if there is selling, there will be capital sitting on the sideline to buy, right? So now it is that kind of a scenario. Obviously, we are also anticipating that the breadth of the market should increase in such scenario, right? So क्योंकि market infrastructure ऐसे बढ़ रहा है, तो breadth of the market should also increase, and you should see more IPOs coming, more companies are getting added to the kitty. But it is a very liquidity driven market, so valuation takes slightly a cider seat. बट हैविंग सेड दैट वैल्यूएशन में भी ऐसा नहीं है कि देखो ऑब्वियसली चीजें एक्सपेंसिव लग रही हैं, बट ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपेंसिव है इस पॉइंट इन टाइम पे. यू हैव टू बी एक्स्ट्रा कॉशियस एंड यू हैव टू बी वेरी सिलेक्टिव इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर एलोकेशन. हमें आज की डेट में भी हम जैसे वी आर वैल्यू पिकर्स एंड वी आर ग्रोथ एंड वैल्यू पिकर्स, तो हमें आज की डेट में भी अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिल रही हैं टू बाय. They are very selective versus what we were getting like 1.5 years ago. But increasingly, market will continue to stay like this and stay expensive. You have to find opportunities in between, right? Again, if you look at the budget, it was a very short-term volatility that happened. And usually, also in the past, also if you look at all the budgets that were there, you would see that budgets would have a short-term volatility, say 2-3%, 5 during the near the budget dates, and then after that market settles, right? Unless and until there is something very structurally new, right? अगर आप capital gains में की बात करेंगे तो you have seen the markets have already seen 2018 where capital gains were increased from a 0% long term was 10% and short term was also increased. So that time markets that happened for the first time in the market. So that took time for the markets to digest. But this time around, considering the kind of capital that is there in the market, considering the type of money that is being made in the markets, I don't think that is going to deter the investors from shifting their capital. See, देखिए आप अगर profits कमा रहे हैं, अगर आप पैसा कमा रहे हैं मार्केट से, तो उसमें मतलब अगर 10% टैक्स है या 12.5% टैक्स है, आई डोंट थिंक इट इज गोइंग टू क्रिएट मच ऑफ एन इम्पैक्ट. Obviously, short term, you think that hey, because of the taxes, my income will decrease. But if you are making such kind of returns in the markets that the markets are delivering, and the such kind of opportunities that the markets have given, you would not actually stop investing just because of taxes, slight increase in taxes, right? So that's what happened, and you have seen markets coming up again. That's what is there. In terms of sectors, we see pharma, IT, FMCG, some of the sectors which are going to do well going forward. So overall market में देखेंगे ना, तो market में there'll be markets are going to stay like this. जैसे जो पैसा पिछले 1.5 साल में बना, it seems unlikely that आगे immediate 1 साल में 1.5 साल में उतना similar level का पैसा बनेगा. बट लेकिन सेलेक्टिवली अपॉर्चुनिटीज डेफिनेटली रहेंगी. मार्केट ओवरऑल इतना ज्यादा इंडेक्स नीचे या ऊपर नहीं जाएगा, बट सेलेक्टिवली यू विल हैव रीएलोकेशन अपॉर्चुनिटीज अक्रॉस वेरियस सेक्टर्स, अक्रॉस वेरियस स्टॉक्स. So you have to it is again a very stock pickers market now, and you have to continuously evaluate, continuously see where there is froth in valuations. You have to book profits at those levels. You have to redeploy your capital at opportunities where there is value. You have to look for opportunities like this. So pharma is a sector where things are moving well, and you are still seeing some good valuation cushion. So this is a sector where we feel that there could be a very good momentum going forward. FMCG, क्योंकि बजट में बहुत कुछ पॉपुलिस्ट हुआ है, तो FMCG could do well going forward. IT सेक्टर, क्योंकि वहाँ टेक के ऊपर भी काफी, डोमेस्टिक स्पेंडिंग के ऊपर भी काफी बात हुई है, एंड देयर कुड बी सम मोमेंटम ओवर देयर एज वेल. So market will try to find opportunities, and defensives are definitely going to do well in this. Some of the sectors like banks and metals might not fare that well. प्लस PSUs, अगर कोई बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपेंसिव PSUs हैं, या अगर बहुत ज्यादा कई सारे थीम्स ऐसे हैं जहाँ पे valuations have gone through the roof in anticipation that there'll be growth, there'll be a lot of capex. So investors have to be extra cautious over there, because जो capex kind का जो budget था, जो पिछले 10 साल में हमने देखा कि there was a lot of capex that kept on being announced and kept on happening across the last 10 years of the budget. Now the budget momentum has shifted from a capitalist kind of a budget to a budget where it is more of a consumption driven, right? मतलब जो हम तो populist अगर बात करते हैं, तो now what is happening is पिछले 10 साल में we kept on focusing on manufacturing capacities, we kept on focusing on doing capex, and that was the government's focus. Government's focus was a lot on the infrastructure creation, and now it is more towards driving towards populist measures which are going to drive consumption. So both are required, right? सबसे पहले आप capacity बनाओगे, उसके बाद आप consumption लाओगे. Obviously global economy is not doing that great at this moment, so if you want to continue the momentum in the economy, you have to drive the local consumption. And what we were seeing was that a lot of consumption was very construed to only a certain class of people, right? Only a middle class and an upper middle class and a upper class were consuming more and more. And if you look at the rural economy, if you look at the lower middle class economy, they were not consuming that well because of the inflation. Now what is happening is, because of the populist measure, because of the distribution of income, skilling, employment creation, all those things, you will find a lot of these people going and spending as well, because if these people get money, they will spend. If you give money to a rich person, he will keep it in his pocket, right? So these people will go and spend, and that will have a very good GDP multiplier. So, and that is very much required. So in a way, like blessing in disguise, if you see, the budget is focusing a lot on populist measures, that is going to create a positive impact on these kind of companies which have done capex over the last few years, right? So you have to focus over there. See, tax is not going to deter investment for sure. That's what we have already seen, right? So although there is a definitely a concern that the government is looking at capital markets to tax them, and there could be increase in taxes in the coming years. That is obviously a concern, that the direction, if that direction government takes and they further increase these taxes, there could be further kind of issues in the market. But for now, I think this is fine. If you look at the SIP flows, they are very robust at this point in time, and they are actually, you have to see over the next few months how they are acting, but we do not see any issue over there. Uh, what additionally I would want to talk is, like, if you look at various themes, right? मार्केट को अगर ओवरऑल अभी 80-100 साल की एक हिस्ट्री हम हमें जो स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में हमें वी नो, right? So if you look at certain events that have happened already, and if they happen again, they do not create much of an impact. Like if you see 2004 में ऐसा हुआ कि everybody was anticipating BJP is going to come, and then Congress came, and that market corrected, and then after that market came back. So people know that if the government changes, the market falls and comes back. So with the kind of liquidity that we have, if the government changes, at even if the government changes at this point in time, you would not find that kind of an impact in the markets, because it is going to be an immediate impact, and then again it is going to be bought back, right? In bull market, what you have is you have flash crashes, and those get buyback very quickly, right? So like something like a COVID, अगर COVID में एक बार हमने देख लिया कि it becomes very bad and markets fall, but it people also realize that it is an opportunity of a lifetime. So what happens is, if anything like a COVID comes again, it is going to be bought back. First of all, the fall will not be that significant, and if it happens, it is going to be bought back very fast. So likewise, if you look at events like a war, now पूरी दुनिया में कहीं ना कुछ issues चलते रहते हैं, but war market को नहीं गिराती, market अपने उस पे पेज पे चलता रहता है. So for the markets to stop its momentum, you need very structural kind of a new kind of a thing that is going to impact the markets, and that you me cannot predict. And for the time being, I think the momentum is there in our economy. The momentum is there in the liquidity that is coming to the market. So it is not going to create much of an impact overall, right? What we also believe is that the breadth of the market should increase to actually take care of this kind of a liquidity that is coming in, and to increase the breadth. Obviously, a lot of new papers, a lot of new IPOs, a lot of new age businesses coming to the IPO thing, and is going to create a positive impact on the markets, and is going to give new opportunities for investors to invest in. If you look at the global market, see, if you look at the overall scenario, FIIs are long, markets overall global is neutral, FII is negative, FDI is positive, FNO is neutral, sentiment is neutral, trend is positive. India VIX is 12.62, which is comfortable. India bond yields, they fell on the day of the budget. They've come back to a 7. US 10-year bond yields is 4.25, is fine. Dollar index is 104. I think it is fine. Brent crude is again not that in the comfort zone. It is in the comfort zone, so $79, right? If you look at the global markets, they are a concern. European markets are a concern. The economy is not recovering to that extent. China, the recovery is not that good. US markets, again, there are some concerns, and in the results that have come, they are also concerned. So global markets obviously continue to have concerns. Interest rate cycle, there is a shift. So we were all talking about buy the rumor, sell the news. So interest rate, Canada has already reduced the interest rate. We are looking at US to reduce the interest rate. So there could be a shift in the policy over the interest rates in the coming period. But overall, it's a very liquidity driven market overall across the globe, right? If you look at budget again, it was a very political thing, but I think it is fine for a government to save itself and to become strong again. We anyways need a strong government at the center. So uh, so overall, what happens is like if you look at the budget again, so fiscal deficit targets were, I think, fine, 4.9%. I think they were very much fine. Uh, India is more of a consumption and manufacturing economy, right? For the time being, domestic consumption matters more than the exports, right? So that's where the economy is focusing. That's where everybody is focusing. We focus a lot on manufacturing. Now we'll be focusing on consumption, and that is going to drive the economy, right? If you look at our overall stocks over the last last 6 months, small cap compounders have given 14%, HQRP has given 16%, Divi Growth has given 10%, special, if you look at the PMS, special fund has given 21%, Super 30 has given 20%. So overall, the returns over the last 6 months have been great. I think we are going to see continuous focus. We've been focused a lot on actually like ensuring that wherever there is a quick run up in the stocks, you book profits, you do not go into overheated valuations. Where there are opportunities to reallocate capital, you reallocate capital. Where there are opportunities that you have seen a quick run up, you keep some cash as well to look for opportunities. And wherever there is a flash crash in the bull run, you go back and buy. So that's what we have been doing as a strategy, and we've been, as you would have seen, we've been slightly more vocal through our communication, and we've been slightly more active in terms of our rebalances as well. So that's where we've been focusing. I think the result season is also there, and it overall it has been a neutral result season. Not like it has not been a very wow kind of a result season, but definitely where the valuations have gone up and the results, if they're not able to catch up, there will be some correction. So if you look at that's why what we are saying is that if you see very high valuation stocks, you have to book profits there, and we have to look for opportunities in either other sectors or in either where there are value opportunities. So that's what we are doing as a fund house overall, right? So I think this is what I wanted to talk about. I think very much comfortable with the markets at this point in time. You have to continue doing your SIPs. For the lump sum, if you see any flash crash in the market, you have to put in a lump sum. And I think we are very confident on our portfolio because we are keeping a cushion of valuation. If you look at the broader market price to earnings, and if you look at our portfolio price to earnings or price to book, you will find a lot of comfort on our portfolios, and that's what we continue to drive, because a lot of focus of ours is to not lose money and reduce the downfall if any fall comes, right? So we are very vigilant, and we are very focused on reducing the overall risk of the portfolios. So I think thank you so much, guys. That's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for joining on this Friday evening. Have a great weekend ahead.